progress. Guess we'll go the way we came. All this because it's upstairs. So I don't actually remember the layout of Toluca Prison. It seems like it was considerably less complex than this. But I will say, because I played through the games like a few years ago. Oh yeah, I should say there's lots of people here. So I have this this playlist. I'll pause while I talk about this. I'll be quick, I promise. Called the Fights and Frights playlist. Like a little gimmick. I started with Resident Evil remake, but like everything had a year. 1996, 1997. I'd go through each year to put myself on the other side, and I'd play a fighty game or a frighty game. So I went from Resident Evil to Realms of the Haunting to Resident Evil 2 to Dino Crisis, so on and so forth. Sure, some of those games strictly don't quite make sense, like Okami, but I was sort of struggling. I couldn't always find a suitable game for that year. We have actually beaten Biohazard. It should say Resident Evil Village. I need to update this picture. But you might also be like, well, hang on, aren't you missing some obvious games here, including Silent Hill 1 and 2? And the answer is yes. But I'd already played them before I started this entire endeavour. So I've made a bonus list of all the games I'm also playing or already played that are fighty and frighty and you would put on the list. There's a sort of Capcom flavour to it. So yes, I'm counting Silent Hill 2 as that, as well as Chronos. And Silent Hill right at the back there. So whenever people go, what have you played? I can now put this up. But yes. So this is a supplemental game. I should have just left it for 2024. Like, there was a slot right there for it. I could have just been patient. I just fancied playing it. We'll figure out something for that slot later. Or I could just put it there and say I played it. Eternal Darkness, I accidentally skipped 2002 for ages. And, El Shaddai. Does that really count? Maybe not. Anyway. So this is a supplemental game, as I said before. We want to go downstairs, don't we? Haven't been able to play a lot recently, because it's been too fucking hot. And I can't breathe when it's too hot. Because of my allergies. I thought I solved the allergy problem by buying a humidifier and taking quite a lot of medicine, sitting over there. And I can sleep now, which is great. I love sleeping. That's great, especially at night. Does it continue further down? Oh, am I just not allowed to leave this way anymore? But what I apparently did not solve was this game. And I think it's just because it makes my computer run really hot. And that dries my throat out. But yeah, we seem to have... Still very hot though, so I don't think it's just that fixed it. I wish I knew. I wish I knew what exactly I did. I also got some fan mail recently. I ordered it from Amazon. There we go. There's my fan. No one was here. I was going to open it up. I was going to open it. So that. I've got like an electric fan, but it goes. It sounds. But this doesn't sound much better, does it? I can see the audio mixer reacting, which means I really shouldn't do that on the mic's on. But yeah, I just think this game makes my computer run really hot. But yeah. I am officially out of Calippo. Right. Got myself, there we go, orange Tango Zero, as I said I would. See, I like them in the cans because the cans get cold. And also I can get them in bulk. So they're not too expensive. I did order AC Slater from Saved by the Bell. No, not AC Slater from Saved by the Bell. That would be a really weird thing to order. No, I ordered... air conditioning, which I think quite a lot of people in the UK did because they were sold out. I spent ages on Amazon looking through, trying to get the best, like trying to figure out which one was the least bad, because you know it's all tat on Amazon, and then I was like, oh no, they're all sold out for ages, and I found the only one I could buy, and it won't arrive for like another, well, basically until summer's over. But yeah, it's probably still a good idea for me to own it. But of course I can't have that on while I'm streaming, because that's going to be even louder than the fan. Although I will say, I think the fan is specifically annoying because it's in the direction of the microphone. It comes towards me, and I'm at the microphone. I've tried having it on, and I've listened to it, and it sounds really fucking obnoxious. I can't have the fan on. Pretty sure this sounds pretty bad as well. I'd have to look. I'd have to listen even. This thing. This is me moving the microphone way over there. We'll keep going. There's lots of people here, and I did just save. I could put it in the Calippo and pretend I have more. Third time's a charm, as they say. I'm being cheeky, but I mean, why wouldn't you? I'm literally right next to the save point. The riffle is a good idea. No, I don't want to save. No, I already do all this stuff. That's the snake. That's the ox. That's the boar. That's more boar. And stuff? No, I didn't. Oh. My short-term memory is awful. Oh. 1 second. It's like a memory leak in this game or something. I have to change the resolution every so often. Triple game? Yes. Oh, not returning that way. It's the basement. So I'm gonna repeat an anecdote. There's a book. It's called House of Leaves. It's reasonably famous. I've not quite finished it yet, but I have a favourite passage in it. The gimmick of the book, in case you don't know, is the bit that it's famous for is for a haunted house. A house whose dimensions do not match the outside, like the TARDIS. There's a family known as the Navidsons. They're famous celebrities, and they have a room that somehow Mr. Navidson has measured it, and it's just too big. It couldn't possibly fit in this space. But that's not really what the book is about. The book is actually about somebody called Johnny Truant. And Johnny Truant's landlord has recently died. So he goes to his flat and he finds that he's a hoarder. He has all this stuff, and he's found that he's written a book, a documentary. No, a sort of written documentary about a series of recordings about this Davidson family. So the book is in fact Johnny Truant's book about Zampano's book about the Davidson documentary. And Johnny very quickly in the margins will write things like, yeah, I investigated this. There's no such person as Davidson. Those events I never heard of. All his references don't make sense. Because when we're in Zampano's book, it's all like... It doesn't just like say, oh, this is a thing that happened. It details thoughts on it like it's a documentary, and then says loads of references like it's a real reference. And like there's so much of it, it's like it's a very dry read when you're going through that part of the book, because it's being a document rather than a story. It actually takes a while for all the Davidson stuff to kick in, because it's caring more about being the Zampano document. But Johnny talks in the margins, like he has those notes. But Johnny's a talker. Johnny gets distracted. Well, this doesn't look like a very comfortable room. And so Johnny starts telling stories. He's suddenly reminded, and the first joke is like you see him in the margin, and you turn the page, and suddenly we're entirely in the margin. The margins do not end, and it's very funny. The first time that happens, and the very first story is Johnny talking about going out with his friend, and there's some women there, and he wants to impress them. So his friend's like, "Hey, tell them about that time we did a thing," and that's completely made up. So Johnny has to invent a story. So we are now in a book about a documentary, but in the margins we're in a story within a story. So that's the type of book House of Leaves is, and you've probably seen that you have to do this occasionally, which I've done a little bit of, but I don't think I've done the main part of that. There's a reason why I'm talking about this, by the way. We'll get to it very soon. There's a section, Zampano. Okay, it's the Davidsons eventually, like they slowly bring in like a family member, a friend to investigate, and it's not just a room now. There's a corridor. There's like an entire basement. It's the famous 11-minute corridor. It takes 11 minutes to walk from one end to the other, and it's like this It's like this just place that exists in their house somehow, like impossibly, and they keep like spelunking down, and the walls shift and all that. And Zampano starts talking about echoes. He says about, how it's the words return to you, it's your words. And Johnny says in the margins, I thought this section was a bit dry, a bit boring, but I included it because I liked this little bit. And you turn the page and Johnny continues, and I'm sitting over there on my sofa, and I get about halfway down the page, and I go, it's like 11 o'clock at night. I didn't retain any of that. I'll go to the top of the page and read it again. And slowly, I get to the middle, and I go, I've done it again. I've somehow retained none of this. And so, like a child, I'm now using my finger to follow the words. And what I realise once I do this is there are no full stops on this page. There are no full stops on the next page either. It's entirely like a thing, comma, and then this thing, comma, and then this thing, and each connection makes sense. He's talking about this feeling, this like your words bouncing, like the clause and the next clause make sense. But when you're like 3 or 4 clauses down the line, we're somewhere completely different. I have no fucking clue what Johnny's talking about quite quickly. And it's what it felt like is, whenever I tell people about this, is it felt like Silent Hill 2. It felt like, yeah, I went to this museum, and, you know, at some point during the museum, you take these steps downstairs. And these steps go on for a very long time. You wouldn't think a museum would have a basement quite this deep. And then you go down a hole, and suddenly you're in a part of a prison. And you walk around the prison again, and then you jump down a hole. And you're now in a much bigger part of the prison. And you go around and you do you investigate, you shoot all the monsters, you do all the puzzles. And then you find a hole. And you jump down and you're in a third place. And you're like, we were never high enough to have come down this far. That's what that section of the book felt like. I was really impressed that a book was able to give me that feeling. Just going, how the fuck did we get this far down? Yeah, I thought I'd bring it up because we're in the relevant section and there's a lot more people here. I thought I'd actually forgotten about the steps. I thought they might have removed the holes, and I was like, no, the holes are really good. I know no one in real life would jump down those fucking holes, but like James is not in a great place mentally. But yeah, I've never had a book where I've like sat it down and gone, whoa, just did a thing to my brain. And you realise you're in the House of Leaves. This is what being in the House of Leaves is like, where you just don't know how long each section is. It did try doing spooks like that before and they didn't quite work, but that section worked really well. I really like that. I see you. I see you, motherfucker. We'll go up. I'm gonna have to finish the floor first, but there is stairs. Maybe I can have a quick look. Just a quick peek up the ladder. Huh. We'll save it again. Anyway, I hope you're never planning on reading that book because I've ruined quite a big portion of it. It's not the easiest book in the world to read. There's like a lot of technical stuff with Zampano, and Johnny just doesn't shut the fuck up. And it's never, like, he's not very good at keeping on subject. He's a talker. You just sort of have to make your peace with that's what Johnny's like. And the writer's not writing in such a way that would deny you hearing his goddamn rambling. And it's important to his characterization, don't get me wrong. But, like, you don't really need to know how hot he thinks his boss's girlfriend is. I mean, she's involved in the plot, but, like, it goes into it a lot. But that's just Johnny. One of the things I was initially, I will engage with the spooks, by the way. It's a big section, so. One of the things I was initially impressed with, a lot of people struggle, is because you have to have 3 layers of story going on at the same time. Johnny Truant, Zampano, and Davidson are really unique, like, different names. They're easy to remember. I know there's a dickhead down here. Am I facing the right way? Again, I don't know how I feel about them going, ah, my leg! Or them crawling on the walls. They sort of have... I get the instinct to give them animal instincts. You know, and like... They react to being shot. They react to light. But it does make them slightly more mundane. And I think like that works with the nurses. Because there's a part of you... there's a famous line in Resident Evil 3 where that guy was just like, oh, you thought they were monsters? And the implication is that maybe you have been just killing children all this time in that school. And that's a little on the nose. That's a massive... That's... hang on.
I know writers who use subtext and they're all cowards.
It's that. The Resident Evil 3 refusing to let that be a subtlety. And then, fair enough, because the guy from the first game was just like, hey, having a whale every time, killing everything without like really considering stuff. So it sort of makes sense that like maybe we should bring it up a little bit. But like this game does that sort of stuff a lot better. And by this game I mean just Resident Evil 2, not this version of it. And so yeah, the nurses making like hurt noises, good, because there's always got to be a part of you going, am I just an insane person just attacking people? It doesn't really make sense because you would have been piled on by now. Like after you'd killed the first person, people would be running, you know, you'd be bloody sure, wouldn't you? But and I've no interest in playing hatred or anything that's like... That's why you have to ride a fine line. Ambiguity works really well for this type of genre, which is why the medium did not work, because her psychic powers in the medium were canon. They made it explicitly clear that the other place in medium was a real thing that existed, which meant every single metaphor it engaged with was actually like, but no, actually there is a monster in that guy's head and it's a real monster. And it's like, no, you need to not operate on that. For me, at the very least, for this type of horror to make sense, you must always be somewhat unsure of what's actually going on. To quote, I want to do the Office quote where he quotes someone else and puts his own name in front of it. That joke there, but like Alan Wake quoting Stephen King, explanations are antithetical to the something of fear. Best example of that is Until Dawn, because Until Dawn does the thing where it has like a red herring monster and a real monster, which is good. It maintains the mystery for quite a long time, but then at some point you're just told what the monster is and then it's immediately not scary anymore. As soon as you know the rules, as soon as you know, oh no, it's just one of those fuckers, isn't it? With the horns. I forget what they're called. The Hannibal has them as well. You just gotta be quiet, don't breathe. And it's like, yeah, I mean, a scary animal would still be scary, but conceptually it's not. Knowing the rules has made it less scary. And I will say, so far, Blooper Team hasn't made any mistakes here. I'm actually a bit impressed. I was very skeptical of them doing it after how bad the medium was. Come out here, you coward. So I love that they hide. And I love that he gets angry when he kills things with this. And it comes across as unhinged. Did I never go to F4? No. And there's an exclamation mark in F6. Okay, I'll go back here. Yeah, I like that when you get good at this, when your instinct is good enough to kill, you feel a little guilty for killing them. as you should. One of the biggest letdowns of this series is, conceptually, to me, the fourth game. The one about holes. I'm sorry, I beg your pardon? Who, what? Oh, I will... Oh, yes, somebody did say that. I will say I don't give a fuck about the cult. And that's sort of my issue with a lot of the other games. The cult isn't remotely scary. It's fine, literally, in the first game. Because every time the cult comes up, they're talking in such a weird alien way that we're not really focusing in on it. But the third game... Alright, what are you talking about, buddy? The third game... Yeah, it just doesn't work for me. You can tell me that she's having, like... They're trying to do the first game and the second game at the same time. And there is, you know, you fight a penis monster, and I'm like, I get why she'd be afraid of a giant penis. Like, I get the implication. It's no abstract daddy, but I get it. But like, it just doesn't work as well. And there's too much about the cult in the third game. The fourth game has this really good idea that he's looking at a hole at his neighbour. And I like that because you're committing the sin. You have committed the, I mean, sin's probably the best word, but there's another word I would have used, but my brain is not giving it to me right now. So I'm going to have to go around first and double check this. Like, most of us aren't going to have done what James has done. But like, being a, it's very easy to be put in a position where you might be creepy. You know, looking at a neighbour is a bad action. It's a smaller scale, but you have to do it in the game because you can't progress without doing it. And you're like, that's good. You've been, because not only has the character in the game committed this sin, you have as well, and you want to, because it's like, what's the secret? What can I see? I want to know the stuff you want. You know, there's an appeal to that. So you've been implicated in that. Fuck, what's the word I want? It's not sin. Sin's a bit too religious for what I'm getting at. And then the game never does anything with it. You actually save your neighbour. You're the big hero by the end. I'm like, what do you mean? I've been creepily watching her the entire game. I'm not sure I should be the big hero by the end. 436 people at recital. Burning Man. Huh. This is for a puzzle. Woman in flight. Okay, there we go. Not sin. What's the word I'm thinking of? That's a key, isn't it? A little less dramatic than the word sin. Committed a... Not the word crime. Crime's a bit dry. A bit procedural. And also it's... I don't know if it's a crime actually. I think it depends on the context. It's like a magical hole. I'm pretty sure he can't crawl through the hole. Where's my phone? My phone's not about. Due to the recent acts of inmate violence, prisoner D239 has been transferred to the solitary confinement cell F6. Better write that down. It's going to annoy me that I can't remember the word I mean. I think there was a key. The lightest weight. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry I couldn't let them take you, and now you're still there, aren't you? Ah. I think that word I'm thinking of is also a dry word, but I think it slows down because it's loading a new area. Is my phone nearby? No, it doesn't appear to be. I can't click off screen because this is in full screen mode. I can't put it full screen windowed because it doesn't run on my computer at that point. I think because the resolution goes up to like 4K. And I certainly cannot run this on 4K. I guess we're ready for the gallows. We didn't pick up the free tiles this time. It just made a fancy noise when I saw them. I do remember the first time round. I tell you what. Oh, yeah. Look all the lights. No, the word's not coming to me. It's raining again. I want a synonym. Like a, not a synonym with a Y, a synonym with an I. I'm assuming it's the sword. Execution lever. Or lever, if you prefer. Do you know my name? Is Judgement, boy. Is avarice driving every cunning theft? No conscience stirs, no remorse is left. Not a hunger's pang, nor a desperate need, but a heart consumed with relentless greed. Under the veil of nightfall, in the ink of dust, a blazing inferno engulfs the wooden husk. Screams of the innocent fill the night sky. He who hell let loose now watches them die. In twilight's grasp, a thief emerges sly. Through the veils of night, his purpose veiled awry. His nimble fingers, like whispers, they glide. In the goods of others, his needs doth reside. Oh, hang on. Twilight's grasp of thief emerges sly. Through the veils of night, his purpose veiled awry. His nimble fingers, like whispers, they glide. In the goods of others his need doth resides. Amidst the moon's glow a desperate truth, the man's life of pain and in peril forsooth. Sealed within these walls his salvation lies. Steal and live on, the ultimate prize. Steal a little while. In a shroud of twilight a tale doth unfold, where the shadows dance and their secrets are told. The shadowy figure, his motives unclear, steals his own kin, one he should hold dear. 'Twas a twisted fate that forced the man's hand, a son at mother's mercy, his life in hell he'd spend? That doesn't rhyme. Forsooth, not all killings are ones of ill will, for the choice was clear, 'twas either her or him. Okay, well I didn't like the rhyming scheme for that, but okay. Likes the word forsooth. Under the veil of nightfall, in the ink of dusk, a blazing inferno engulfs the wooden husk. Screams of the innocent fill the night sky. He who hell let loose now watches them die. A contorted chill dances on his spine as their souls fly forth on Thanatos' sigh. No sign of regret nor a tinge of guilt, but a fiery urge to destroy what God built. Okay, that one. Yes. With her senses failing, she looks, mouth agape, at the one who forced the spirit to escape. Cold steel pierces vein, a sanguine flood, gazing back at her own flesh and blood. A tragic fruition, a mother's despair, her heiress undone by the one she once loved. Forsooth, it was not love that guided his clasp, but a spiteful avarice one struggles to grasp. Shadows cast, the hunter lies in wait, his violent intent cloaked in a veil of fate. An enigma unfolds, motives undefined. As the prey approaches, their fates intertwined. The victim's eyes wide with terror and fright. The attacker's nature now comes into light. Vicious his cause and marred with dark pride. A show of brute strength for all to abide. Okay, avarice is good. Yes. In clandestine steps darkness as his guide, the man ventures deeper where riches doth hide. An unseen intruder with motives untold, his hands eager to touch, to grab and to hold, his avarice driving every cunning theft. No conscience stirs, no remorse is left, not hunger's pang nor desperate need, but a heart consumed with relentless greed. Would these be sins by any chance? Lust? I mean, lust is a wall of fire, right? I don't know if it is 7 sins, but it does say avarice there. Choose the one justified from among the damned. So we burnt down a church. Okay, don't care. That's just a thief. I don't care. Okay, not him. So one so far. That's just a thief again. That guy killed his own mother? I mean, that did... Okay, well, I'm going to go for one. Huh. I'm going to assume one was wrong. Maybe nobody died in there. Maybe there was no screams. Five? I have no map, that's a good sign. That was really well timed. I really like that it confirms several times. Here we are. Oh no, I've been tricked. Where are we? We're in the labyrinth. Right. I'm very happy with this stream. But I'm going to let you go. I might do something else. I might not. Never bank on me playing after midnight, I would say. But I played plenty of this. Do a little bit of bellyache. I think because of all the medicine I took during hour one. Because I was just like, fuck it, everything. We're going to try everything until something works. And it did. Like, I don't give a shit about the slight, very slight bellyache. But it does mean... Probably should have took something I shouldn't have. But, that was... Oh, no, don't disappear just yet. That was Silent Hill 2. To look, our prison is done. But we are still not done with the whole. We shall continue that next time. Hopefully tomorrow we'll get to play Village. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching. Farewell.